to cooperate.
There it is. I see being live streamed.
It's on YouTube, is it? Cool.
I saw that it said on the bottom that's being live streamed.
Fantastic. To cooperate.
There
All
it
right.
is. I see.
All right. I hope that it's still live streaming. It should be on YouTube. I just closed the window entirely. So good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Mastermind check-in, the weekly check-in. And I'm looking at the chat. It's nice to see you all. We have embarked upon a new phase in the DLTC Global Signals. So we have Mrs. Jera here and myself.
Hello.
We're hanging out with you all tonight, and we'll try to do more of these interactive, um, whatever you call these things, these interactive sessions, so that you all could spend some time with us weekly going over the emotional experiences of the day. Now, my computer is not plugged in. I forgot to actually plug this thing in. So I would, in a few minutes, I'd run away from you all so that I can bring my power cord closer. But in the meantime, I hope that everybody is doing well. I hope that you all have had a lovely week so far. I know that it's just Wednesday, and we are looking to know how do you all feel about today's signals. I wasn't on much, so first I'll ask Mrs. Jarrah, was it just the museum silence? Were people just trading?
It was today was a different day. I mean, just the start of automation. So not as much conversation, but get our trades in. Once we got towards probably about 10:30-ish, that was Mr. T started talking about some things and just answer questions, just specific questions about indicators, but still providing the commentary, but commentary specific to the indicators. No sidebar conversations. We didn't have any sidebars.
How did you all feel about that today in the chats? Tell us how you all felt about April. Did you feel more focused? Does it take some getting used to? Do you feel pretty much the same? Tell us how you all have experienced today, and did you all have a successful day? I see a frown. Is that bad?
Mhm.
The first thing I see is a frown. What's going on? Tell us about your pretty much the same for Mr. Bobby. Somebody had good results today, and somebody says it takes some getting used to because it's completely different from the LTC5. That's right. And some of you all have had the same. Right. Oh, you miss Mr. T's talking because you like the gems. Right. So we're glad that you those of you who are new to the group that you're enjoying the vibes. And some of you all have just found your footing and everything feels the same for you, which I'm grateful for.
Right.
And I hope that the same means similar and continuing success for some of you. Now, I would like to know, uh, did anyone have a challenging first quarter? And do you think that your challenges are near the end? Do you feel like you don't know when they'll end? Have you all had what are the feelings that you all have? And tonight we would like to hear some voices. I know that you all are talking in the chat, but we would like to hear some voices to know how do you all feel about the last 3 months now that you've been trading signals for 3 months, some of you. Was it easy? Are you still having a hard time and why? Please do raise your hand so we can hear you all speak. Ah, yes, we have two. Who raised their hand first, Mrs. Jarrah? I didn't notice who.
Oh, I didn't either.
Okay, hold on. Let
Let's
me.
go with
Uh,
I'd say who do I see first? I see Bobby J first, Mr. Bobby.
okay. All right, Mr. Bobby, let's hear you. How are you?
I'm all right. Good evening, everybody.
Good.
I'm out here in Costco making bad
Evening.
decisions. I don't know if you all can hear me,
Oh, thank
but
you very much.
yeah. So I think for me, we were in that lively conversation, I would say, with Mr. T around 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Um, and I get the finding out what type of trader you are. And I think for me, I completely agree. You do have to find out what type of trader you are, but I don't think that is a decision that is a light switch. I think you have to work through it to figure it out. And that working through includes a lot of losses, in my opinion. Which I think my goal is to eventually stop having those losses. So for the last, I would say, last week was probably my first all green week, 5 days. But then in dealing with all the money and my learning, I don't know if it's my stop losses or set in maybe my profit margins. I've hit a couple of L's, but I think ultimately, for example, today I was trying to hit a certain profit margin. Essentially, I was trying to get to $40 on this one trade.
Right.
And the I guess it was Friday when I made a comment about the market, how the sentiment was green, and then
Right.
it kept plummeting, and I didn't understand because all the chart said green except for the graph that kept going down. And so in my experience, I was trying to trade with the momentum, and then that tricked me. And so then I guess the following time I tried to trick, I was just like, well, the market said green last time, and then it plummeted. Maybe it'll plummet this time. And then apparently we hit a record high in the S&P for like all time growth or something. So then that was another L that I took. But today I was in the green for the majority of the things. And I think what I've learned is I need to, since I'm becoming an all the money trader, like scalping won't work for me because I need to make my trades. I take a little time and then I'll set my profit margin of when I want to get out.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, I guess, is realizing when I want to get out because I'll have the goal, like I know for all the money that they're trying to get more from their profit. And then it'll be like maybe 2 or 3 cents short of that. And then it'll reverse and then it'll plummet. And then I'll try to panic. And every time I set last price and hit sell, that price will change. And so what ended up happening, I went from like a plus, I guess, 15% increase. And I ended up still getting out with like a 0.02 increase, which I guess green is still green. But so I think that's for me learning, which I guess having green days as opposed to extremely negative red days, I would say, and trying to, because I think what I've realized is that I'll have a certain balance that I want to keep in my account.
Right.
And for me, it's kind of hard to start to gauge your wins when you have a big L, then you replenish that, and then it's like, this is my baseline, as opposed to if you lost $200, don't put back in $200. Work with that lost money and then try to use the profits to make that up. So I think it's just for me been a learning curve, but I do think that I am getting better, and eventually, hopefully, things will start to pan out. But yeah, it's learning.
Okay. So, the thing about it is my question to you is this.
Hmm.
You said the first thing that you said is to know what kind of trader you are is not like a lightning strike, but it takes work. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And it could take you some losses, in your opinion, and
Hmm.
it could take longer than expected. So my question to you now is that you're doing this work, how do you know when you know what kind of trader you are?
I
What
think for
signs are you looking
me,
for?
so I think for me, and I don't know if Mr. T is on. I don't want to trigger him, but I know for me, just financially, I know that again, I understand like we talked about it in where, you got to learn the lessons, whatever. But for me, it's only really minimally beneficial if I make back the at least the daily payment amount. Because if I make a $3 profit, but then I still paid $17 for the thing, then to me that's not really being worth it. Now, again, if we're talking about learning stuff, that's different, but we're not learning DLTC. We're learning how to read the signals. So to me, that means that I'm still dependent upon these signals. Because I'm still dependent upon these signals, this isn't like knowledge. I know he likes to use the example of, you don't get the returns when you pay college tuition, which I don't think is a correct example because when you go to college, you're actually learning something that you can apply outside. The skills that I would learn in DLTC signals, I cannot apply to anywhere else except for DLTC signals. Like because of the way you all set the candlesticks and the graph, those aren't the same type of graph that I will be looking at on Thinkorswim or something else because it's made of these additional things. And so the knowledge that I'm learning is very localized, I would say, to DLTC signals. So because of that localized knowledge, that's the profit margin that I have to hit for me. And so because of that, I realized in order for me to make, let's say, was it $17.50 now, that means I'll have to make 17 daily trades. And so if I'm making 17 daily trades, and then let's say at the minimum that's $50 a contract, I don't know what the math is on 50 times 17, only to walk away with $1 profit. And then because of that, I end up getting to this space of constantly watching the charts where essentially it feels like I'm leaving one 9 to 5 job to go to another 9 to 5 job because I'm making all these trades throughout the day. Whereas my preferable thing would be to maybe have a couple of big profit trades and then be done by 11 or 10 or whatever and have my time back, as opposed to trying to make these trades $1 at a time, but then end up making 20 trades over the course of 5 to 6 hours.
I, I hear what you're saying. However, I have to
Mm-hmm.
address some of the some of the thought patterns, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully it can help to add clarity. So the first thing is
Okay.
the skills that are particular for being successful in our signals is something we teach for free. You're not paying for that. For example, the whole DLTC Global Systems course where you learn what the X's and the dots mean, that's public on YouTube for free. You're not paying for that. What you are paying for is
Right.
live trading experience and yes, profiteering. But what you're learning here is transferable to any signals group, but also to life. Because while you did notice, yes, dots and X's and all of those symbols that we use cannot be used anywhere else because there are symbols, you are learning risk management, emotional management, stop loss management. You are learning what kind of trader you are, which is a transferable skill. You're learning how to scalp and you're learning how to squeeze profit out of a trade. And that applies to every signals group in the world. But what you're getting is not just membership, but you're getting live instruction on how to manage your life as a trader. You're learning how to build a cushion account. You're learning how to compound, and how to scale. You're learning framework and you're learning mindset, right? So all of those skills are transferable not just to other trading groups, but to business, and they're also transferable to life, to relationships. So that being said, the parts that we teach that help you to learn what our signals specifically do, that is actually free. It's everything else that you're paying quote unquote 1750 for. But then there's also the matter of we have a system of abundance. So the amount that you're paying will increase month to month. So you're telling me that you'll know what kind of trader you are when you can cover the cost of admission. Okay, fair enough. But let's say the work you had to do to cover $10 in January is the same work that you have to do to cover $20 in May. It's not twice the amount of work you have to do or twice the amount of knowledge that you have to have. So how exactly do you quantify the fact that our ticket prices change? And how do you tie your knowledge of your identity as a trader to the day past cost? What if tomorrow was free? You'd still need to know what type of trader you are. So maybe I'm asking for more clarity from you about how do you know what type of trader you are outside of the cost of the day tickets, which is something you are focusing on, and it's fair enough, you are paying for it. But at the same time, that number changes, and there needs to be possibly some other factor that can help you to have that knowledge. So what I'm trying to find out is what signs within you do you look for to truly know whether you're an all the money trader or a scalper, other than being able to cover the cost of being here?
Yeah, so I think, and I am by far not a finance guy, but I'm not new to trading in the sense like I've been heavily involved in crypto, and then I was doing options, but I was doing options for weekly and monthly trades, so not as fast. Um, but for me, if I was to think about it in the finance sense, it would be what the return on investment is and the ROI. And so that's essentially how I'm doing my calculations. So for me, I understand when we first started, I was told, try the scalping first, which I get it. You buy one contract, you go over and you make $1, and then you go up. And then I think we talked about that, a few weeks back, to where I was saying that eventually, in order for you to make this profit or become financially free, hypothetically, if I only made, and assuming that I only buy one contract, if I only made bought and sold 20 contracts with the intent to make $1 off of that, that's $20 a day. And I don't know what everybody else's financial status is, but $20 a day would not free me in the way that I would need to be freed financially. Um, I would be looking at hundreds of dollars a day. And for me, I don't see how I could get that scalping at a $1 increased profit without changing the amount of contracts. Now, with the change of the amount of contract, and this is something that I asked at the beginning of the year with Ms. Jira in the email, because I was saying that if I was to increase the contract based off of the videos that I saw, when I go to immediately hit sale, does it default to the number of contracts that I had already bought? And she said, no, I would have to manually up those numbers back for the sale. And so to me, because it's not a default thing, and I think about the speed that I would need to sell. Like if I bought 15 contracts and I need to swap over, increase the dollar, and then bump this up to 15, and then I might not hit the profit margins. So for me, that just seems it's a high place, a high possibility of failure for me. And so because with all the money, I have a little bit more time to look at it, and so I'm a little bit more relaxed. I know for a fact that okay, I buy my based off of the 5 minute chart or the arbitration with the 1 minute, I can buy whatever my contract is, take my time, go to my assets. I can set my price, and I'll set my max profit limit of when to get out, and then I'll go back to the modify, and then I'll just kind of watch it to see. And so once it starts dropping below whatever my stop loss is, then I can immediately get out. And to me, that is less stress on me, and it's the lower rate of failure from trying to click out or click. Because I think the one lady said that she accidentally bought two contracts when she was trying to sell. One that happened to me before because I was rushing and I didn't get to swap over, and I ended up buying twice instead of buying it and then selling. And so I think for me, all the money, it slows down the trade. And it seems, again, because I'm still figuring out the best profitable way, but this seems to be a better way to hit my profit goals specifically in the time frame that I'm looking for, as opposed to scalping. Does that make sense? Or
It does make sense to the point where what I'm understanding from you is that you are telling me what type of trader you think you should be because of your needs or how you see or need freedom from trading. So it
okay,
looks like your trader type is externally determined. It's more based on what you think scalping cannot give you rather than what you think your nature is as a trader. So in the context of what you're saying, a lot of what you're saying is that you think that scalping, let's say $1 a contract, means that you have to scalp 20 times a day, and it feels like you've switched one 9 to 5 to another, and it seems that you can't be free making $20 a day. The thing about it is that one thing I noticed over everything that you're saying is that
mm-hmm.
your concept is based on dollar amount, not percentage. And throughout this week, it's necessary, I think, to practice thinking about trading in percentages. And I understand your decision to pursue all the money trading, and that is completely fair and it's completely up to you. But even as an all the money trader now, what can help you is thinking of things not as a dollar goal, but as a percentage goal, because you're needing to remember that the most important thing about this trading on a daily basis, the whole advantage of day trading is compounding, aggressive compounding. Compounding means you're putting profit based on profit. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say you have a $500 account and you're able to make $20 a day. That's a fantastic return from $500, right?
Yeah.
But you do that day over day, and by the next month, you're not working with $500, you're working with close to 1,000.
That
And
is so. Can I hit on that for a second? Because that is completely true, right? However, if we're still limiting ourselves to not the dollar amount, so again, if I'm making $20 a day and my compound interest to 1,000, I haven't increased my number of trades. So I'm still trading $20,000 a day. So that is not exactly the same of how compound interest works, because with that compound interest, so in order for me to compound that, so for example, I have some dividends and stuff that I compound. I get a 20% profit. And so every month I'll add that in to create a larger amount to trade. So essentially with the compound interest, let's say if I made $500 and then I started with $500 and I ended up with 50. So now that means that I have 550 to trade with. So that implies that I will be trading more. But if I'm not increasing the amount that I'm trading with, that compound interest isn't being added to the baseline price because I haven't changed the amount of powder that I'm using. So if I only was doing $50 and I make 10 of that and I set it to the side, I'm still only making $50 a day.
Well, my question to you is why would you not increase the amount you're trading with?
And that's what I'm saying. So that goes to my next point of like, if I'm doing $1, that means that if I start off with 10 trades, now I have to go to 20 trades, now I have to go to 40 trades, now I have to go to 50 trades to compound that. And
No,
so,
just increase the number of contracts.
Right. Increase the number
and
of
then
contracts.
that goes back to the other previous thing that I said. If I increase the number of contracts, then if I'm doing scalping, I have to get over there fast enough to increase the number of contracts when it's time to buy, switch to the sell, and then increase to the number of contracts that I want to sell. And that's what I was saying, that I've done that before, and that seems a bit cumbersome for me,
Yeah,
as
that's
opposed
fine.
to
That's
yeah.
fine. We understand that you prefer all the money trading. But what I'm saying is that the premise that you can't get free with the scalping and making $1 per contract, and even if you start with one contract, but what we're trying to tell you is
Mhm.
that you can, even though it might seem impossible. We're not trying to convince you to do scalping because we know that you're pretty set on all the money trading. But what I'm saying is that, especially for the benefit of those listening, they need to know that even as a scalper, you can get to freedom very fast. But if you're thinking in terms of, well, I can't get free over $20 a day, well, okay, that's how much you start making. But you're not going to get free tomorrow if you start trading today. It might take you 6 months, but you can get there in 6 to 12 months. Why we're saying this with such conviction is because we have had so many people actually do it. There
Yes.
is a young lady who started with $136, right? And by, correct me if I'm wrong, Mrs. Jarrett, 10 months in, she was
Yes.
making nine and a half thousand
1,000
dollars
a month.
just trading a month. $9,500. And that wasn't 2025 money, that was 2022
Ooh,
money, I believe.
yeah, either 21 or 22. Yep.
And that 9,500 did mean more than it means now. So
This
what
was
we
with scalping, like with
yes, she
the
was
Yes.
$1
scalping.
increase.
Yes, a $1 trade started with one contract. She had $136 in her account. She didn't have 500. She started with $136. She just had one loss all year. One loss in that entire year. But she did it with $136. Is it extraordinary? Yes. Is it common for us to have extraordinary people in the system? Yes. A lot of us are extraordinary. Mrs. Jarrah has doubled her account in a month. She started with a small account.
I
I
did.
think that was last month or the month before.
January.
January,
Started in January. I did double in February,
right?
and now I've doubled. I mean, let's 1,000. Started with 1,000. So in
Mhm.
February, I was at 2,000. At the end of March, I was at three 3,000 or more, a little more than that.
Well, you've more than tripled your account doing two trades a
And
day
that's
in
in a
2 months.
three-month period of time. I trade January, I did quite a few more trades than what I do now.
And you scalp, right?
And I scalp. Sometimes I get lucky and QQQ will give me one of them big body candles and it give me a little extra. And I'm like, well, thank you for that. But I take what the market will give me.
Right.
Um, I do trade. I'm not trading with just one contract. Yes, I do trade more contracts. Um, I average probably 10 contracts is what I usually trade. I might do 15 if I'm feeling froggy, but usually about 10.
Yeah.
But that now, I mean, it's two trades. Most of the time it's two trades a day, and it is percentage for me. I don't care what I make. I just, I just get profit. So my percentages could be 2%. Today was a nice day. I got 22% on one of them trades because
Yeah.
it's a green day and I was in a call and hello. I got in at 89 cents and got out at 107 because that candle went bonkers.
Hmm.
And I was in a situation where you discussed, Mr. Bobby. I thought that I had hit the sale button in Webull, but I hit buy and I wound up buying 10 more contracts. And I'm like, oh, phooey. So I, canceled that order and got myself out of that trade. And it just so happened that it was on that, what does Brother Chandler say? It was on the escalator, or no, it was on the steps. So it just, I'm like, but I got out. So that was a pleasantry. But regardless, I'm gonna scalp. That is, you get lucky some of those days. If I got in at 89 cents, I'm going to put it in for 90. And if I get a little bit more, I get a little bit more. But if I'm averaging 10 contracts, then I'm getting $10.
Yeah.
And sometimes I might get a little bit more, and that's two trades every day. And whatever I get is what I get. I take 50% of that and I put it in my cushion.
That's
So,
it.
question for you, Mr. And I hope like this isn't, and I don't want this to be too personal, but like, so when I'm thinking about the young lady that you mentioned that started off with $136, right? So I know when Mr. T used to mention the the calls or the puts, whatever that I can't remember the premiums, I guess there will be like 1 to 2 out of the money. And so to me, what I've seen is that that can be anywhere from $1.12 to maybe $70 to $60. And so at $60 with $150, and then I think based off you all's rules, I guess you have a certain percentage of your powder that it says don't get a contract for.
Yes.
So let's say at $60, if you buy 10 contracts, that's $600,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you get a $10 return on it. But then for somebody that only has 150 in their account, if in order for them to buy a trade that's closer to the money, they would pass the threshold that you all recommended for the amount of powder that you're using on a trade. So to me, that's why I get confused because it's just like, well, I understand like it'd be different if I know it takes money to make money, right? So obviously somebody that starts off with 5,000, in their account, they have a little bit more playroom in order to do things. But when I hear the stories about and I'm not trying to invalidate it. I'm just curious to like what they did. So not that I'm even trying to mimic them, but maybe I can look at them and see some of the mistakes or something that I'm not doing right. But like people that start off with 136 and a contract that is at 100 and oh, I'm sorry, a contract that is at $70.
She wasn't trading
How?
QQQ.
No, she wouldn't.
Okay,
And it's that, and
and
because that particular person some of these stories that we are telling are based off of people who were with DOTC trading. But when we're out, because we want to provide those examples, but understand with signals, everybody is starting at a different monetary amount. And
so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it has to be whatever the powder is that you want to start with. And yes, you could start with 150, 300. Some people are trading with hundreds, I mean, thousands of dollars, it could be 10, 20,000, 30,000. It could be more than that. But it's based on what you have and of course, what you can afford. So if somebody is starting with $300, they may only do one contract. And that contract, and because it's QQQ and you can go further down the chain, maybe they're only buying a $70 premium or a 80 or a 90, or maybe they decided I'm just going to do $1 and I'm going to do a contract at 100. Of course, you don't want all of your trades, you don't want all of that powder to go into one trade. So you have to be mindful. I can speak for myself, and I know Mrs. Angela has mentioned this previously. It's only a certain amount that I trade with. I decide out of the powder that I have, how much of that am I going to use to trade with? And I know I only do two trades. So out of those two trades, that's how much I'm going to use. If I had $300 I was starting with, and I'm saying, oh, I don't want to spend no more than 150. I don't want to go over 150, and that's half of the powder. Each of us is different. If you want to do a third, you could do 30%, you could do 25%. But if I'm like, I know I'm not going to use all of my money in a contract. So I'm definitely going to look for things that are within my price limit. So if I had 300, I'd probably be in QQQ, I'd be probably at about the 60 cent, 70 cent, and I'd be buying one contract. And the thing that you have, if even at one contract and I'm getting that money just it keeps accumulating and accumulating. And half of that I'm still going to take out, and the other half stays in my trading account. So I'm still increasing my trading powder while I'm also taking that profit, taking that 50% out. I'm not sure how to, because there's, as Mrs. Crystal was saying, it's that piece that I'm trying to get to help you to understand. But there are like, it's in the risk management piece is a part of this as we think about trading and what we're doing and how we do it. And yeah, if you're too far out the money, I mean, I'm not going 8, 9, 10 slots out of the money with QQQ, because there is, and even with experience, we learn sometimes things don't move as quickly. But you think about your powder, and it's all about, we're looking at those percentage. And for me, it is percentages. And for me, if I get a profit, I get a profit. That's how I look at things when I trade. But I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'm using all of that money. It's very clear for me. I'm only going to use so much. And I'm also about so many trades. I only do 2 trades. That's all I do is 2 trades. So whatever happens in those 2 trades, it happens. The more money that that those of us have in our accounts, the more that money is being put at risk. Because if it goes the opposite direction, I better pull the cord. But pulling the cord, it's going to be more money that will get lost. And it's keeping the loss tight is the biggest piece. So as long as I can keep that loss tight, I can get that money back faster. It's a lot easier to do that when you pull your cord using your stop loss. We win more than we lose, and learning to lose is really important, because that learning to lose, to pull that cord quickly, is what's going to help us to continue to push forward. Even if I have a loss in the day, if one of my trades was a loss and one was a win, I'm still taking my profit out for that win that I had, because I still made money. I still make money. I may have made $10, but I may have lost $20 in that second trade. I'm still taking the $5 out, because that was profit from that trade that I had. But that's a part for me, again, with understanding how I move as a trader, understanding, how am I going to address the premiums. But there's a lot of, as I hear a lot, it's a lot of focus on the money for you, Mr.
But I
Bob.
do want,
It's
but I
not,
do
I
want to
don't focus
go ahead.
on,
Sorry.
I finish, please. I don't focus on the money. I focus on the trade, and I focus on the percentage. It's not about how much. The experience that I receive, and being able to, and because I've been I'm a person who trades under DOTC, but understanding signals and having done signals for the last 3 months, money is a tool to handle the needs and the wants. I don't have an attachment to money. There's a strong pull for you there. If you can find a way to not have as much of the attachment, I think some of it may get better for you. But there's a huge brick wall there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
So I
honestly,
do want to go ahead.
because
Sorry.
the thing about it is that every time we talk to you about percentages, you do go back to dollar amounts. And we can I can completely understand it, because when y- the cost of things are in front of your face every day, it's being charged to you in dollar amount, not percentage. So I could completely understand why the dollar amounts are at the front of your mind. You often think about how much it costs to be in signals, and that is fair. You are paying to be here. But at the same time, the more you allow dollars to dictate your decisions, the more difficult it is you will find yourself to center and find your stream as a trader. When you let the percentages make your decisions, you're operating as a professional trader, because what you're looking at is progress. not a win or a particular loss. It allows you to zoom out and see the real result of your trading skill, which is building. And as Mrs. Jarrah said, you just have to take some time to get to know yourself as a trader. But if you are concerned about the dollars, you will not actually get that quiet in your mind to analyze and then to get to know yourself. You are now reintroducing yourself to yourself as a whole new person, a person who trades, who goes into the United States stock market and seeks to extract money from it. This aspect of you, this part of you is a new person that you're just getting to know. So if the noise of the dollar amounts that you perceive you are losing is distracting you from getting to know this new person, then you will struggle to find your footing. You'd be pursuing all the money trading with the purpose of trying to break even on what you spent. You want that money back immediately. And because you're in such a hurry to get that break even or that value for your money, you can lose money because what's happening is the actions are all based on the external costs and the external circumstances. If we raise our price to $200 tomorrow and you decide to buy a day pass, you might be focusing on, I need to get a $200 back. So your trading is all around $200. So it stops you from being able to hone that skill because it's always in context of what you spent. Let's say you do make $5. You'll think of yourself as saying, well, I didn't make the 1750 back, so I don't feel successful. But if you made $5 from a $100 trade, you made a 5% return, which is well above standard. But you can't see that and you can't celebrate it because everything is in the context of how much money you want to get back today based on how much money you spent yesterday or this morning, right? So what we're trying to tell you is that the percentages, when they help you to make your decisions, it kind of releases some of that pressure of trying to make that money back as soon as possible. And then before you know it, because you've let go of that amount you've spent, then more money comes to you faster. While you may not be able to follow the person who started with 136, you have the person who started with 1,000 and has 3,000 right in front of you, talking to you right now. So if you
Yeah.
don't think
So
about the
that,
person with 136, there's a person who tripled her account in 2 months in front of you right now. That's unheard of in the trading world. Really unheard of. So,
so I do want to say, and I don't know if this is something that everybody else experiences. So that's I'm going to speak on my experience. But for me, it's hard to demonetize things or think about money when even you all, Mr. T, people's success is based off of money, right? And so for the term to say, well, don't focus on the money, but then Mr. T uses dollar amounts in his validations of other people's success. Like this person made 30, so people, so make $60,000 a day or X amount of $1,000. So he's putting the dollars are being mentioned in our face. So for dollars to be mentioned as a way to validate people's success, but then simultaneously say, don't focus on the dollar amount. For me, that's hard to differentiate because to me, the dollars have always been in my face. And I think the second thing is that I think it puts things in perspective for, again, because that wasn't the first time I've heard that example of so and so start off with $136. But if we use that as an example to tell people so and so start off with $136, but then we fail to mention that, oh, they weren't trading QQQ when we are listening to $136 and then we're looking at this price of QQQ and we're just trying to understand how does that make sense. And so, not to say that that's not good information, but for me, it's irrelevant because all I see on the screen is QQQ, NVIDIA, and I guess the 5 minute chart. And so using that example of basically you can make money selling apples because Jane did it selling oranges. Well, I understand that she did it selling oranges, but that doesn't directly correlate because we're selling apples. And so she had a different price point for me. And so for me, looking at, okay, saying that it's successful, but we're not trading whatever she's trading, we're trading something different. And then for that to simultaneously say, don't focus on the dollar amount. Well, I can't unfocus on the dollar amount because $136 was already presented to me as a way to validate success. So that's what ends up being confusing for me, is that when do we pick and choose to use dollar amounts to validate people's success, but then simultaneously tell people don't base your success off of dollar amounts?
So, Mr. Bobby, may I ask you then,
Mm-hmm.
if it's the dollar amount that's concerning you, even in these examples of these folks who did what they did with those dollar amounts, they're free. So can you
Mm-hmm.
focus on that piece of it, that they are
Yeah.
free? These people that did these things with from a that I'm not even going to say the dollar amount, but these folks they've done enough to the point where they control their own time. There are people who are on this call right now who are free, who control their own time. Does that help you to focus? I am not free yet, but I will be. Mrs. Crystal is free, of course. Mr. T is free. There's several people who are free. I will be there sometime this year. I will be free. Is that the focus? Maybe you should focus on that aspect, which Mr. T has said, even in sessions or during the conversations, there's always somebody who is on the call with me that is free. So does that help you better? I mean, regardless of the monetary piece as we are speaking to it. And again, there's an attachment, and this is just from listening to you, that attachment
Mm-hmm.
to money. You are very attached to money. Money for me, again, money is a tool to get the things that I need and want. And I will have money to be able to do the things that I need and want, to be able to be free. Free to me is controlling my own time and doing whatever it is that I want to do and not having to punch somebody else's clock. That's what free is for me. And there are a multitude of people that have that aspect. If you look at it from that regard, does that provide you any additional understanding?
So for me, in order to be, because when I think of free, I'm thinking financially free, and I do view time as a type of currency, right? To me, everything is like the dollar, the euro, all of these. Time, to me, time is just the currency that everybody has, that we all have the same amount of, and how we spend it is differently. And so for me, in order to be free, I still can't differentiate that without adding an aspect of financial to it. Because in order for me to do what I want to do when I want to do it, that requires money. And so if there was a way that I didn't have to work and I was just given some type of card that has no dollar amount on it, and I could just use this card to buy things or whatever. But to me, again, I can't speak for everybody else. It's hard to differentiate that transactional aspect of it if we're in a financial space. So when I think of freedom, I know what freedom looks like to me, and financially what I would need to receive in order to get to that freedom. So again, I completely appreciate everything that you all are saying, but for me, they're in tandem. They're not disconnected. So in order for me to be free, because essentially what I look at financial freedom is that the salary that I make, my goal is to make a passive residual income that would allow me to pay for all of my things, passive residual, without clocking into a 9 to 5. And so let's say, if hypothetically, if I can make whatever I make at my salary job in 8 hours, in 2 hours, that gives me 6 hours of my day back. And so to me, I've now freed myself 6 hours, but I still have 2 hours that I still have to pay. But if I can get to a point to where I can make my entire day's payment, and let's say one trade, then essentially I'm now financially free. Or if I don't even have to do anything manually, I have some type of business or something set up so that that money hits my account residually and passively where I don't have to do anything. To me, that's how I'm defining financial freedom, because now I have my free time. But to me, again, when I was making the comment about trading one 9 to 5 for another 9 to 5, I'm still stuck at a screen. Like if I was to open a franchise like a Subway or something, I wouldn't want to be the person making sandwiches because I'm still doing something work. To me, I just changed what I did with my 8 hours. And so because of that, it's hard for me to think about freedom without thinking about the financial aspects of, because I can just be like, oh, I want to do whatever I want when I want. But if I don't have the money to do it, then so again, I understand what you all are saying. And I think understanding that these people are financially free, like the lady that Mr. T mentioned that lives in Thailand, I believe, or she does these things. Like all these things are great, but I don't think she got over there from like gifts or whatever. She had to pay for the ticket. She has to pay for her house, and she has to pay for her food. Now, how she does that may be through trading, but to me, I still think that there's a financial aspect of it. And if I'm thinking of finance, and it's like the return on investment, and because of that, it's just like I have to at least get out what I put in. And I'm not trying to, I'm appreciative of this. I'm appreciative of everything you're saying. But again, just for me, it's kind of hard to differentiate the two when I think about freedom.
What may I ask you,
Mhm.
just understanding, so, I mean, a lot of the conversation that we've been having, why are you in signals, Mr. Bobby?
So uh, to learn signals, to make money trading. And so I think when we talked a couple of weeks ago with Miss Crystal, when I was saying that right now I'm following the signals, and apparently you all had a system or a class where you taught things, I guess, to people so they will be able to read the charts without the signals.
That's correct.
So for me, I look at DTLC signals as essentially it could be finite, right? But I'm still dependent on you as far as the signal, you as in the system to make the money, because like if you cancel signals tomorrow, I don't know how to read the charts, like whatever the algorithms and stuff that has been triggered to create the sentence. So to me, my goal is to like, okay, I take this money, I compound this interest, and then I can use that money to invest or do something else to reach my financial goals. So that's why I'm here. I think this is a great system that you all have that shows you that it takes the thinking out of how to maybe try to navigate certain aspects of the market. Um, just kind of the do as you're told type thing. So I think that is beneficial in itself. But again, I look at that as like, essentially like that could go away. And then what would I be left with? Like, what would I do?
You traded options before. You said that, right? How?
Yeah, yes. So
How
I
did you
was in
trade it
another
without
group, and go ahead.
how did you
How
trade
did
it
I?
without us before? Before.
So I took a couple of, I guess, boot camps essentially, and
Mm,
they were longer contracts, but like they went over stuff like certain chart patterns, like the cup and handle, double M, double bottom, double like they went over the primes and the out of the money. And one of the things that I got from you all that somebody didn't mention, and I think that's when we talked about how when I bought the put, and even though the price went down, I still didn't make any money. And I think you or somebody mentioned I had to pay attention to the theta and all these other aspects. And so, because again, I've come from a background of longer trades. So when I would buy options, it was more so of a set it and forget it. I would kind of look at the chart, set my price, come back, and then it would either trigger out or I have a stop loss or whatever by the time frame that ended. That was basically one month or 1 week option, and I was doing Coinbase, Nvidia, and I think I can't remember what the third option was.
I see. Well, I want to address something that you have said before. So you're saying that you feel a little confused because we tell you don't think about the money, but we use dollar amounts to explain people's success. The reason why
Mm-hmm.
we have to do that is for this reason. First, we say $136 because most people can swing $136. We say $136 for two reasons. One, because it's the truth, and two, because it gives people hope. It dispels this myth that says that you need tens of thousands of dollars to trade. It's a common myth that some people still believe that we have to work very hard to dispel. Explaining
Mm-hmm.
her starting point is not just explaining the fact that she started with a certain dollar amount, but the fact that she started with a reachable dollar amount. Then the second thing that we explained that she ended up trading $10,000 a month before we lost contact with her is because that is also something that people can understand. Now, we trust that humans can do the math to determine how much of a percentage that is. But we say two important things. We say $10,000 a month, but we also said in 10 months she has achieved that. So it's not just about the amount that she's trading month over month, but how fast it took her to go from having 136 to making $10,000 profit in 10 months. There are three factors there: the starting amount, the time frame of achievement, and then the monthly profit amount at the end of that achievement time frame. You can do the math and see that that is an exponential achievement, meaning that it doesn't go up like that, it goes up like that. That is based on percentage. If we only thought about dollars, then you would not be able to appreciate how she has gone from a small amount to be able to have that amount and make an incredible amount of profit month over month within 1 year, meaning that not just is it a manageable starting amount, but it is a very exciting time frame. 10 months, anybody could focus for 10 months. And then the monthly profit she was making is a livable amount for her to be free, such that she didn't need a job. $10,000 a month is said to illustrate that it is enough to live off of without needing to sell her time for money. I don't know how often she traded. I don't know if she made 10 or 20 trades a day, but what I do know is that she worked for her freedom. It took her just 10 months to do it, but she was willing. Okay, Mr. T says twice a day. She traded twice a day. So there's no 20, 30, 40 sitting down in front of the computer for 4 or 5 hours. No, it is just twice a day. 10% a day was her profit goal, and she achieved that. But here's the biggest part: you need to be willing to work for your freedom. All of us, so many of us, are willing to work for 40, 50 years for about 100 or $200,000 in a retirement account. Are you willing to work for 12 months with faith and hope that you will be where you want to be, even if you don't immediately get where you want to be within the first month or even the second month? Are you willing to invest money and time to work to achieve that monthly profit goal that you will need to be making to stay free? Let me tell you, as a free person, I know how much it costs me to live. I know how much it costs my family to live. Those are two different numbers. I know how much money I would like to make monthly to live comfortably. And I know how much money I would like to make monthly for my whole family to be taken care of, not just my husband and my son. I'm talking about my parents, my siblings, my nephews, my nieces, and a couple of aunts and uncles. Not all of them, but some of them, right? Some of them, the ones I like, right? All of them, Mrs. Gerald, don't laugh. You know you have your favorites too, right?
I do.
Right? But some of them, I know how much I want to make for the people I love to be okay and to achieve certain things in life. And the amount that I need to make in December 2026 is different to the amount I need to make in December 2027. I want you to listen to me very carefully. As a free person, I have a goal for the end of 2026, and then my goal for the end of 2027 is different. There is a bridge between 2026 and 2027. I need to know how much money I am increasing my income by month over month. That's what trading does for me, and that's what trading can do for you. It does for us what jobs cannot do. Trading increases your income rate at a very fast amount. So if you know anything about physics, you know there is direction, there is speed, and there is velocity. Those are three different things. Okay? Velocity is the combination between direction and speed. My direction, my goal is up. The velocity has to have a specific increase month over month. So not only do I have velocity, not only do I have direction, not only do I have speed, but I also have acceleration. As a free person or somebody on the journey to being free, not only do you need to be in the positive, you need to be making money, not losing money month over month. I'm not talking about just trading, I'm talking about your net worth, right? You're not supposed to be spending more money than you make unless it's for a specific purpose, for the goal of making more money later. Okay? So you're not supposed to be spending more money than you make. Okay? That's the first thing. You're supposed to be able to sustain yourself to live. Next, you need to be making a certain amount of money month over month to live. You need to achieve a certain financial goal. Then you need to increase the amount of money that you're making month over month. In 2024, my income increase goal was 50% month over month. Just like you all were trading, I have a business income goal. That means if I made $10,000 profit in my business in July, I was supposed to make $15,000 profit in August. It was a 50% month over month increase in the speed that I was making money so that I could achieve certain things with the business to make the business work and then in my life so that I could get and stay free. So, because the things you want to do with your life, Mr. Bobby, should be increasing and expanding, you're going to not just need to be making a certain amount of money month over month, but you need to be making more money in July than you made in June, more money in June than you made in May, more money than that you made in May than you made in April, and it's supposed to be increasing by a certain amount. I'm not talking about making $10 more month number two than you made in month number one. You're supposed to be increasing the rate of the income that you have. And if you are doing that through trading, then compounding is going to be paramount to your success. So you need to quickly and deeply understand what type of trader you are so that you can come up with a strategy to achieve that. As a scalper, it is easier to come up with that strategy than it is as an all the money trader. The reason why is because you have a high amount of mental load as an all the money trader because you are still a day trader. You're not a swinger. You're not a swinger. That means every single day you need to be in trades that are highly profitable. And you need to know, just like Mr. Chandler said all that time back, you need to increase your scalping skill as well so that you can keep all of the money you make. Mr. Chandler is not going to go make 50% profit on a trade and sit there and watch it go back down to 10% profit just because it didn't meet his 60% profit goal. I'm going to say that again. Mr. Chandler is not going to watch a 50% profit in a trade dwindle down all the way to 10 before he decides to get out and preserve the money he's made just because that 50% didn't hit his 60%. He is not a set it and forget it trader. If you all were there when he was showing his video, he was like this, watching the trade, watching the screen throughout the entire trade. He did not even watch his brokerages to see if he was in the green or the red. He said that. I don't know if you all remember that.
He said he puts his phone down.
He puts his phone down and he looks at the candles because he's making decisions based on the indicators. And if he sees something going a certain way, he will take whatever profit. This is the highest, this is the hidden part of successful all the money trading that scalpers, natural scalpers struggle to see. And I've said that natural scalpers for a reason. They struggle to see the fact that all the money traders will accept underneath their goal if they see something turn around. The reason why they see something turn around is because they've been watching it. They've been paying attention to the chart. They didn't just set a take profit stop loss and walk away and have a cup of coffee. They didn't do that. They sat there and watched the candles go up. They didn't sit down there and watch the dollars go up. They didn't sit down there and watch their green go up. They sit down there and they watch their indicators go up. Now, I'll be right back. I need to plug in my computer before this shuts down. Mrs. Jarrah, can you just talk just in case my computer shuts down?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to note on Miss Crystal. So I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I don't think that I'm not. I don't have any inkling that this isn't a successful group or whatever. Like I. So if you would have asked me, why am I here? Like I'm not discouraged. I was just sharing my experience. Like, but I'll be with you guys if you don't kick me out to December. Like, so I just wanted to throw that out there. Like, I'm I saw somebody else was in here commenting about them not doing it. And so for me, sharing my experiences of what I'm going through, and for anybody listening, I don't want them to take that as a sign of like Mr. Bobby is giving up or Mr. Like, no, I'm here because I can't keep working. So like I'm here. I'm just sharing, as I learn and what's going on. So I don't want that to be taken as like I'm discouraged or I'm not into it or I'm not getting a benefit from being in here. I just wanted to throw that out there. Sure. So
And
thank you all for everything.
you're welcome. I think just in the conversation that we've had, it's really it's the listening, taking the feedback. We talked, we used to like constructive feedback and when we listen and we're providing information, especially because you're hearing it from folks that, Mrs. Crystal is free. She can, and the insight that she just provided is coming directly from someone that is free. And I just encourage you to really listen to what you've been told and truly, and again, like I'm all about people are reality shows to me, and they've always been that way before reality shows existed, even as a child. We're all actors, and sometimes we don't know how we behave. And the feedback that we are providing is to assist you as you move forward. So I would say, really try to listen to the feedback that's being provided because what we're saying is what we're seeing, what we're hearing. And, you want to stay with us, that's great. But really trying to hone in on the percentages, trying to hone in on how Mrs. Crystal talked about strategy, really understanding what freedom looks like to you, which you seem to have an understanding, but really trying to getting past the money. Mr. T has said to us over the years, get rich slow, slow is relative. It's, boring trades. There was oh my goodness, Mrs. Tremira, and she used to do sports trading. She's was a DOTC trader in the past. She said, you got to do boring trades, not them sexy trades. We ain't going to the strip club. We're going to the library. Like that's basically what she would say. And it really is getting like you got to once you find your rhythm and you get into the routine and you understand and you believe, all things will come as they are supposed to come. So I just encourage you really hone in and listen or hone into the information that was provided and really try to receive it, just receive it. So you can see, and that if you can understand and try to truly understand, what's being provided to see if it will help you to continuing to navigate forward.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. That was I think it was some other hands that was raised, but
yes, Nicola, Valerie
okay.
Simmons. I don't know if they're still here.
I don't know. The hand's been raised for so long, their arms
Yeah,
probably fell
they
off.
probably gave up on us. Miss Nicola, are you still here? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Is Miss Valerie Simmons here? And Mr. T would like to talk. Go ahead, Mr. T. What's up? You can unmute yourself, I think.
Well, I'm trying not to
Try
talk.
not to,
Oops, oops,
Kristen.
oops,
Try
oops.
not to.
Because y'all know
Mr.
how I
T,
get
I
with
come in
when I
peace.
talk.
I
I
come in
know. I
peace, Mr.
listen.
T.
He
That's
came
one
in
of
peace.
that's one of the reasons I'm not talking. But here's the deal, brother Bobby. We want you to be successful, and we understand where you're at. And there have been lots of people who came into what we do, and it's hard for them to sort of to have that epiphany. A lot of what we do, because I'm always talking about money, it seems like that it's sort of one dimensional. But the reality is that trading has very little to do with actually trading. It has to do with the sort of the perspective, the mental perspective. And money, money is one of those things, honestly. Once you stop thinking about it a certain way, you attract it. It's like I always say, when I was I hate to tell my personal stories, but they resonate because a lot of people have gone through them. When you like someone as a child, the last thing you want to do is let them know you like, right? And if they have any interest in you, by not letting them know you like them, now they're more interested in you. And that's how money works. So if you're unable to let go of the attachment to money I understand what you're saying. I did a presentation that was 4 months,
Mhm.
and all it talked about was attachment to money and detachment to money. It is something that it's really in depth because it talks about why we're so attached to money, and it's not because you came into this world as a young boy with this attachment to money that was taught, and your parents' experiences and your family experiences, all of that shaped how you see money. But money is one of those things you have to let it go. And when I use examples of other people who have gone on and gotten free and they're successful and have these crazy large cushions, it's not to stunt for them, it's to show you that they started where you're at, right? And then they got up every day and they did exactly what they were supposed to do. Now, Kim is one of our most successful traders, not because she got rich by trading. Bobby is probably up to $250,000 or more a month. So money wise, he might be at the top of the pyramid. But Kim started with 136. And the only reason I know it's 136 because I used to always say 150 and she would always correct me, right? But that's to show people that what's possible if they're willing to follow the system. And it doesn't really matter what you trade. And once again, trading is trading is like a button you go push. And all you got to do is get up every day and go push that button. She was able to, her claim to fame is not the fact that she got wealthy. There's people on this discussion now who are making six figures trading, right? Her claim to fame is she only had one loss for a whole year. I've never heard of that. I don't think anyone in the world's ever heard of one loss trading options at least twice a year. I know Jara's trying. I mean, she's doing her thing now, but I've never heard of anyone doing that. That's her claim to fame. And she could not have done that if she was worried about the money, right? She paid every month too. So she wasn't worried about it, that about the money. And no one that I've ever done business with was ever worried about the money. And Mrs. Karen is on here right now. And I've known Miss Karen. We've been exchanging money for years now, but she's never even brought up the money, right? So you have to find a way. And I know I have been so broke where $5 was a lot of money. So I understand it. But you have to find a way to let that go so that you can focus on the skill of what we do. And DLTC, there are DLTC traders on here right now that will tell you, no, man, DLTC is great, but signals is on another level. DLTC is more emotional than signals. So I kind of spoke on that today. So you're not going to wear us out because I've been doing this for 11 years, my 12th year. But what will happen, like I always say, I've been saying it every day, you could have $1 billion, but if you keep losing, trading will take every dollar you have. So you really have to focus on the skill outside of the money. And I know it costs you money every day. I understand that. But when you go to college, I said this 2 or 3 times since over the last month, you don't go into the office after 2 months and say, when am I going
Can
to
I
get a
get a
job?
barbecue sauce too?
Right. And get that woman her barbecue sauce. So so you have to let go of all of that. And you just have to say, I'm here to learn. I'm going to perfect this skill.
Here.
And once you perfect this skill, then you'll be on your way. So I believe it or not, Mr. Bobby, I like people who ask questions. I like because you're a tough nut to crack. And what I mean by that, my job, not as much anymore because it's April, but my job is to help you see the world in a different light so that you can concentrate on first your power and then focus on the skill. And once you're able to do that, then you're able to master the skill. And I hope that happens sooner than later. Now, I have nothing against you, nothing. But I can almost guarantee you that people on this call are like, he keeps talking in circles, right? He keeps talking in circles. Like Miss Jarrett said, you can't see it because you're in the game, but everyone else can see it and you can't. And that's all mastermind, right? So you really have to take a step back and say, let me focus on the skill. If it costs me $300, so be it, or whatever the number is. If that's a problem, then pay for one day. That's only $17. But do your best to change the way you see trading, to change the way you see money, to not look at trading as money, but look at trading as a skill. Because once you see it as a skill, that's when you make money. You said Kim traded Apple. Well, Jared trades QQQ, and she's tripled her account. She's not the only person that's tripled her account trading QQQ. So you have to understand that it's more about the skill than it is about the money. And that's all. And I'm going to get off now because I think I've talked now for 10 minutes. That's my quota for tonight. But I'm enjoying the discussion.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We are grateful that you're here. And Mr. Bobby, we do appreciate that you're speaking up and you want to clarify that that shows that you care. And we don't we hope that you do feel welcome to continue to ask questions because we're not getting on here just to talk you down or argue with you, but we do want to assist you to see things that we would like you to see that we think could help. Right? So so now we did see if anybody else is on. Mrs. Selena is here.
So I am here as well.
Hello.
This is Valerie. I
Oh,
wasn't able
oh,
to
Miss
make
Valerie, Miss Valerie. Oh,
Oh,
speak
okay.
yes,
earlier.
yes, yes. Okay, hi.
Um, Hi, how's everybody?
Yeah, right.
I do have a question. In considering becoming an affiliate, for me, when I joined initially, I think we were at $10, and that was what was explained to me. It was $10 a day to trade, et cetera. So we went up 12.50. We went up $15. Now we're at $17. With wanting to become an affiliate and trying to encourage other people to join for the sake of becoming free, at least that's how I pose it, because that's why I joined. Um, what is the just what is the straight and narrow? Because I think if you have someone like the few people that I did tell about it that have not joined, but initially I told them it was $10. So now they've checked back with me. And so now I'm like, oh no, it's $15 now. So that is being questioned. And already for us, culturally, we have an issue with trust. Um, we have an issue with being in other um, maybe whether it's trading, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's stocks, whatever the case may be, investments that have went sour, or started off one way and now they're doing something else. And not to say that you can't adapt to change, but if I'm going to encourage people to come, I want to encourage them with full information.
Mhm.
So how do you do that if you don't have the information yourself, one? I mean, I don't know what the end game is if you are going to become affiliate. And let's just say I'm not going to become an affiliate, and I'm just going to want to encourage people to come just so that they can have an opportunity to learn trading and to become free. How do I package that, if you will, to them if I'm going to tell them one thing and then they're going to come in and it's going to be something else?
Well, it's not the amount of money that we're charging for day passes month over month. It's not a secret. We did say during the information sessions last year that it will go up every month. And we did say that it's 750 for the first 3 months, those who commit to the first 3 months. However, for your knowledge, so this can help you, day passes go up by $2.50 every month. How do you package that? Better try it sooner than later. If you want to know, if you want to know how, it's Jerry laughing. It's true. If you want to know how Signals is, better pay for a day pass now than wait till December.
Yeah.
It might work out well for you. We're from a
Okay.
system of abundance. All right.
Okay.
And
Okay.
though our day passes go up by 250 a month, Mrs. Gerald tripled her account in 2 months. All right. So in profit, she's made more than it would cost her to cover the first 6 months in 2 months. So if you come here and you're successful, it is like compounding, trying to invest at 18 versus trying to now start to invest at 36. Isn't it wiser to invest at 18? So the earlier you invest in signals, let's say you really want to seriously take on a journey of building your wealth with us, people who look like us, people who know what they're doing, people who have helped other people to become free, free people, free black people, black, rich, free people. If you want to hang out with that kind of crew, the best thing to do is as soon as possible to start a relationship with us. And if you can't continue, we understand. So for those who want to try, it's better sooner than later. If you do want to package it to try to tell other people about it, well, have you had a successful time trading and have you witnessed the success of others? You can tell them about that because the success has literally financially brought more profit to people collectively than the cost of the entire signals together. There are people, I will tell you the truth, there are people on here who are making daily more money, and I'll tell you this, than the whole DLTC Global Signals business daily. There are people, not one people, multiple people who take home in profit more money than it cost everybody combined to attend for the whole month. So I will tell you this. You never know if one of those future people needs you to be that blessing in their life to show them the way, to point them in the right direction.
Mhm.
When you see it that way and you realize that you are the answer to somebody's prayer, then you will
Yes.
not be shy about what you have to share. Even if some people think it's a bait and switch, tell them the truth. It goes up by $2.50 month over month every month. If they feel like that is a scam, there is no need for you to try to convince them against their own mind because all that
Mhm.
does is create resentment. You know what signals is. You are here,
Yes.
all right?
Okay.
So you show them the open door, but you can't force them to walk through it. You should tell them the
Mhm.
truth. It goes up by 250 every single month. So if you notice it's a pattern, 10, 12.50, $15, 17.50. Next month will be 20, right? The month after that will be 22.50. The other month will be $25 and so on and so forth. So
Mhm.
just so you know, it's not a surprise, but if it wasn't clear, we hope that it adds some clarity on the pattern.
That did. Thank you. And
Okay.
and and yeah, I wasn't aware, but which is fine. I just I want to
Of
make sure
course.
that I'm giving the right information
For sure.
when
We
I'm
can't expect
telling
everybody to know everything. It's totally
uh,
understandable. Yeah.
other people about it. And then just to kind of piggyback off of what, not to take you down a rabbit hole,
Hmm.
but just to kind of piggyback off of what Mr. Bobby was saying. Um, in listening to him, and
Hmm.
he's saying if the rule of thumb, because for me, the rule of thumb that I've been hearing is do one or two trades, get out, get off. Don't stay trading for, all day or give your money back or whatever the case may be. And then listening to him saying that he's doing 20 trades a day to make just to cover the $17 or whatever the case may be. I personally am not experiencing that, but I'm probably not didn't stick to all the rules of just going up $1. So that might be why I'm not experiencing that. But I would think that if I was just going up $1, I might have the same type of mindset that he's thinking. If I'm trading rule of thumb twice a day and I'm only going up $1 based on what I'm trading, how would you um really be covering it if you're not trading at a higher amount? I mean, that I don't know how is that happening? How can you trade 20 times a day and not cover the $17? Is that possible that isn't really happening or
It is possible, but at the same time, we are saying this. I don't know if you were here the first time I spoke to Mr. Bobby 2 weeks ago. Let's say you are starting from a humble place. And when I say humble, I mean under 500. Let's say about maybe $200. You start with a $200 account. You
Mhm.
literally can only afford to buy one contract because of risk management. And you can only, you're trying to scout, so you try to make $1. Now let's ignore the fact that very often the market gives you way more than $1, even though you're trying to get $1, because QQQ is wild.
Yes.
Very often, QQQ, not rarely, not like one time out of 10. I'm talking about at least half the time. QQQ does give you more than
And
$1
$1.
per trade,
Mhm.
more than about half the time at least, right?
Yes.
Let's discount that. Let's pretend that QQQ had a very stingy month and they were only giving you $1 trades, and you could only trade 1 to 2 times a day. Now, this might take you a little while, but you're starting from a humble place. Let's say if you trade, let's say anywhere between 1 and 5 times a day, because I think that's how far $200 could take you, right? 5 times a day is like a $40 contract. So you make $1 per contract, you make $5 a day. Let's say that you do have good risk management and you win just for the sake of it. You don't make any extra money other than $1, but you do win all of the time. So you have had about, let's say, 5 trades a day times 20, 5 twos at 10. That's 100 trades a month. So you've made $100 from a $200 account. Now we're talking about dollars, but let's do some math. If you've made $100 profit from a $200 account, then you have made 50% profit in a month. So while the month may have cost you $200 to attend, and you only made $100 cash return, you might tell yourself, well, if you're thinking in that certain mindset, you might think, well, I made 100, but I spent 200, so my net is I've lost $100. However, when you speak like that, you cannot see the amazing achievement that you've made 50%
Mhm.
in a month.
Yes.
So while you may have made 50% in January and you may have lost $100, what you have gained is a skill that allows you to make 50% in February. Now, I want you all to go in your calculators very quickly, and I'll do it with you. If you made 50% in January out of $200, let's say QQQ was very stingy, they didn't give you any more than $1 per trade. You traded 5 times a day successfully. You've made 1.5 times 200. So you've made 300, and you end up with 300 in January, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have 1.5 times 300, that's 150%. You make you end up with $450 in February. So you make $50 more. But let's say your day pass is now, how much was the day pass? About 250. So you made
Mhm.
150, but you still lost $100 in February, right? So 1.5 times 450. In March, you made you end up with $675, right? So you made $225 profit, but in March, how much did you pay? 250? I think it's $250 we paid in March.
I think so.
Notice how the gap is closing? No, let's do it again. 675 times 1.5. Okay, so in April you end up with 1,000. In April you end up with, hold on, is he okay? Okay. In April you end up with $1,012.50, right? So the amount of money that you made was $337.50. In April, you would have paid about $300. Is that correct? I believe in April you would have paid
Yeah.
300 for
Yeah.
trading, right?
306 for the 360.
For
Or
60.
360. Okay, so you
For
made
Uh-huh.
65.
$337.50. Now you have 10, 12, just about that. I'm doing the math manually. So you multiply that by 1.5, you end up with 1518. 1518 minus 10, 12 equals $506. $506 profit in May. You made $506 profit in the month of May. But for the month of May, you've paid 1750 times 19. You've paid $332.50. So in May, you've paid $332.50, but you've made 500 and something dollars in May. And that goes on. And you just give it 10 months. Give it 10 months. This is the part that gets people. They want to attend with 1 day pass and make the money back right away.
Right.
They're not willing to commit to 6 to 10 months of attending signals daily, investing that money repeatedly, month over month, showing up for signals every day for 5 to 10 months. And by the end of 10 months, they're making like 7 times the amount that they're paying for signals in profit. And that's a very humble projection. You started with $200, right? And in May, you're ending up with thousands of dollars. Just the fact that you have the skill to do that, you have a means to do that, you have a community to do that, that welcomes you to come and do that, is not worth the price of admission for a couple months. So so this is how it starts. I don't know if you all know anything about business, but sometimes people have to invest money to start a business. You won't be
Yes.
profitable for the first 4 to 6 months. Usually you don't really make profit for the first 4 to 6 months of business, even if you have a fantastic business. This is the business of you. This is the business of your life, your profit, your freedom. You're using trading, but it is in a form of personal business. In the same way, with the most humble, modest returns, you will be making profit beyond anything that signals cost you within 4 months. But people want the results, that type of profit
Instant.
now. They want
Mhm.
December results in January. And this
Mm-hmm.
is why
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that it does take a building up. You have to be willing to work for your freedom, and that does include your investment. It's better to start sooner than later. So here's the challenge now. What are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to pay the price of focused diligence and investing in signals and actually coming and getting to work here in signals? You make your 1 to 5 trades a day. 2 trades a day is sufficient, Mrs. Jarrett. Again, Mrs. Jarrett tripled her account in 2 months doing 2 trades a day. 2 trades a day. She started with a modest account. It's $1,000. Most people, if they tried over a couple of months, they would be able to save $1,000. People spend about $1,000 in fast food in the process of 2 months. In 2 months, if they buy fast food for their family a couple times a week, it's $1,000 that they've spent. So people can realistically, ordinary people can save like $1,000. But the thing about it is the later you start, the more the opportunity is missed. So let's say you just get started in December. You're not paying $10 a day, so why wait? So this is what is important to get people. If you want to help them, tell them the sooner they do it, the better it is for them because it makes it more manageable for them to start. If
Mm-hmm.
they start in
Mm-hmm.
December, it's still possible, but they just have to invest more. Why? Signals becomes a more valuable product because it is freeing people.
Yes,
Signals becomes more valuable every single day. People do not fight Ferrari about the price of their cars.
exactly.
Right, understandable. And I mean, and then I guess when you speak about percentages
Mhm.
instead of looking at it from a dollar amount,
Mhm.
um, I mean, prime example, our banks
Mhm.
that we keep money, house our money in, you'd
Yes.
never have a 50%, 10%, even
No,
7%
no,
return from your bank
Right.
on a monthly basis. So
no,
I totally get that.
not at all.
And
3%
I get
APY is a great achievement. 3%.
right. So when you're okay, so let me ask this about the compounding. The compounding, I'm assuming that you're compounding in a higher yielded account that is going to make your money grow a little bit faster than you're not just putting it back in the same 3% bank account that you're taking the money out of.
You're
Initially, I wouldn't
compounding
assume that.
in your trading account. So you're compounding, meaning that if you make $50 profit on a $500 trading account, the next day you're trading with $550.
Right.
And what else we do is we take a portion of our profits and we put it in something we call a cushion account. That is our account for our lifestyle. We use that money to spend, to live, right? So that lifestyle account is all about not saving for a rainy day, it's about living, what it costs you to live. So as I said a little bit earlier in tonight's session, I know how much it costs me to live, to get what I need and want, like Mrs. Jarrett says. I know how much it costs my family to live, my family, the people that I like in my family, how much it costs them to live, and how much I want to make to be able to keep myself and certain people comfortable. So when you have that particular projection in mind, your trading has the goal of reaching a point where it sustains that projection. That is freedom. Your trading or your business or whatever it is, it needs to sustain your projection of how much you need and want to live. And so what you do is you take a portion of your trading profits and you put it in a money market account. That money that you put aside still grows. That's why we see a money market account. It does return some very humble profit. Instead of just sitting there making the bank money and you get nothing, at least you could get 3% a year. But the money where you're multiplying your money, the action is happening in your brokerage, your trading account. Does that make sense?
So basically, you're saying that you're okay. So you're saying that you're taking a portion of your money out. Not okay. You want 500, and you
A
said you
portion
made
of your
50. You're taking a
profit.
portion of
Profit.
your profits out.
Yes.
The
So
rest of it
let's
you're leaving in your trade in your I do Weeble, so in your Weeble account, you're leaving the rest of it in there so that
yes,
you
and trade more and make
And trade
more.
more. That's what
so
I
you can
do.
trade more.
That's what I
Okay.
do. I
Yeah.
trade
So that
before.
means
So
you
I have
can
50%. 50% of my profit goes into that cushion and the other 50% builds my trading powder. So every day I have more powder that I can trade with.
And every
so
day,
you can
yeah.
you can choose higher your puts or your calls, you can choose a higher dollar
Yeah.
amount
I can
because
as that powder continues to increase. So maybe, for me, I can say this is what I'm trading with for this month. I'm only going to use this amount of money this month, but that powder is growing. So then the next
Mhm,
month I'm going to say, well, I got this much in powder. So now I'm going to trade X amount for the next month. And then the next month
mhm.
I'll trade X amount. And the next month I'll trade X amount. Because each day that I have a win, half of that is building my powder and the other half is going in my cushion.
Okay, that makes
I'm
sense.
always getting more. You build on both sides. So you're increasing your trading powder as you're increasing your cushion. And as Mrs. Crystal said, this is not an overnight thing. It takes time. I don't expect it to happen tomorrow, but I do expect it's a routine for me. It's like breathing. So it's just get up, get my trades done, going about my business, get up and do my trades, going about my business. I've heard Mr. T say, usually by like month 7 or 8, you look at your account and you're like, oh, look at that.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
because but it's not
Really
something
does.
that's going to happen overnight. It's understanding. And I know because I believe and I'm committed and I know this is what I need to do. But yeah, and I take mine out every day. Some people might do every week. Some folks might do once a month, but every day, if I have profit, I take it out. And
Mhm.
that's more
Mhm.
every day. I got more powder every day. And it needs to accumulate. Like maybe today I made, let's say I made $50. So 25, I got 25 today. Maybe tomorrow I had 5. Maybe the next day I got lucky and got 100. Like but it's still, it builds every day, every day, every day, every day, every day.
That's it.
That makes sense. Okay, so I have one more question. Again, just piggybacking off what Mr. Bobby said. He said something about the fact that let's say he left signals or signals went away. He doesn't feel like he's equipped to still read charts and know how to navigate in order to continue to trade successfully without signals. Um, is that accurate?
We
Is that
can
accurate for, is that accurate? Like, are we learning how to, I mean, are we handicapped by signals? Meaning kind of what he said, if something happened and we weren't able to join signals, maybe this month I don't have a $400 or to put into signals. Are you then in between a rock and a hard spot, or are we in a group that you're also empowered to know how to read those charts, even if an X or a dot or doesn't show up?
Signals is a system. It is a system that was created that Mr. T did create. So it is he taught trading for a really long time, like he talked about with DOTC. And trading is not, or teaching is not where that aspect is any longer. Signals is not going anywhere. Anything can happen, of course, but there are lots of Tompkins in the gene pool that signals will be around for a very long time. We have Mr. T. Mr. T has one of his sons is involved in the work that we do. His son has children. His granddaughter knows how to trade, but all of this aspect of signals, there is no indication that it is going to go away. And we have Miss Danielle Dowey because Forex. We have a Forex aspect that Miss Danielle does. What we are doing is not going away. I mean, could something happen? Yes, something could happen, but there is no intention that signals will go away. But the teaching aspect, because signals is amazing. And as a person who knows how to trade, I would rather do signals than trade on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I don't, do I know if I had to, I would. I mean, now again, I'll do a trade just to make sure I remember how to do it. But it's like riding a bike. If you know, you don't forget. But I have signals, and
Mm-hmm.
signals isn't going anywhere. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an aspect. Anything, of course, anything can happen. But at this point, there is no intention that signals is going anywhere. So it would be if this is what you want, if you like the aspect that signals offers, that DOTC Global Signals offers, stay with it. And knowing that there is enough gene pool in the Tompkins Lake that we're going to be good. So for me, I'm good. Like I don't dwell too much on that. And if it's something that folks are asking you, you can say it's not signals. There is no intention for signals to go anywhere. And of course, we can't say 100%. Oh, it's always like I would not say that. But at this point, there's no intention that it's going anywhere. So
And I guess I get it from a business perspective, right? It would behoove signals to have the participants that sign up for signals on a daily or monthly basis to understand the value of it or see the value in it to continue to come back. However, with that being said, I think it does put you in a position that you are dependent on signals, no different than you're dependent on something else. If you have some other vice, you're dependent on signals to continue this lifestyle or continue growing with trading moving forward for as long as you are with, if you stay with signals, then you're good. But if you leave signals and you haven't equipped yourself with learning how to read those charts yourself, you're lost.
In a way, I
that,
suppose.
yeah, I
If
mean,
you want, if you
there's
want to
truth to
trade
that.
signals
Yeah,
with us, you'll need us.
you will need it.
If we are
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
around, or let's say
Mm-hmm.
you decide you can no longer pay for signals, then you
Mm-hmm.
will find another way to make money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
signals is teaching you to be determined and resilient. Signals is not about trading. People need to understand this. Signals is teaching you to be determined and resilient and hopeful in your ability
Mm-hmm.
to create your own way.
Yeah.
Whether
No,
signals be the tool or a
mm-hmm.
candle making business
Right.
or running naked across stadiums, if it gets you to your goals, it helps you to be free.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, I
Signals
didn't.
will help you to be determined and believe in whatever path it is you choose. Once your
Mm-hmm.
intentions are true and your reasoning is sincere, the way will be shown to you. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like the word handicap, and I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm not debating what you're saying, and I'm not even going to try to dismiss or dilute your question. If you want to
Well, no,
trade DLTC
right.
global signals with us, you need us. However, if you want to be
Mm-hmm.
wealthy and to get money to take care of
Mm-hmm.
yourself and your family, you are never handicapped.
Mm-hmm. Well, I get maybe
Absolutely.
handicap wasn't the right choice of word. Maybe
No, I
dependent.
know exactly what you're saying. I know you
Maybe
don't
that's what I meant. But
you
this
are
is what I'll
using
say.
signals as a tool. You are
Right.
depending on this tool, just like
Right.
billions of people depend on a job to take care of their people.
No, I truly feel that signals gives you I had to change my mindset because when I first got involved in my mind, I was saying, "Oh, I'm going to learn how to trade." And to an extent, yes, you're learning the things that you can apply by using signals. I'm not really learning. I just need to understand what when I'm relaying it to someone and I'm telling them, "Oh, you can
Oh,
come learn to trade," but that's
we
not
No,
really
that's not,
we
no.
what
are
it really
we
is,
are an
right? And so that
interdependent species.
okay,
Yes.
right. So
The
I'm not
stock
saying it
market is
yeah,
a
yeah, I'm not saying what I'm saying to be
okay.
facetious in any way. I'm actually saying it because I want again to be equipped the right way when I'm trying to inform someone or encourage someone, for lack of better words, to the benefits of signals and to come, follow what I'm doing, I guess. But I want to be able to be clear in what message I'm giving out. And so I think just in hearing the back and forth dialogue that you all had tonight, that kind of gives me a little bit of clarity. So I appreciate that.
Oh
Thank you.
yeah. We are an independent species because then you have to ask yourself, what if the stock market shuts down? What if the stock market becomes illegal? Never let that be the end of your story. We are just a tool. Signals, your relationship with signals is a tool to get you free and your family taken care of. If we're
Oh,
not
no.
around, we hope that we have imparted some determination, especially when people have experienced January. We hope that the skill that you've learned, one of the skills that you've learned, is determination and commitment, even when the way is not clear forward.
Mhm,
Signals will be able to administer to you skills that you can use across every aspect of life, every
mhm,
aspect.
mhm.
So now, as you all could see, my little one is starting to get a little restless. My poor husband, he's a trooper, he's done his best. So I would like to have Mr. T talk, and I apologize. I know some of you all still have your hands up, but like to have Mr. T close our session for tonight so that we can trade again tomorrow.
Okay. And thank you, Miss Crystal. When she handed the mic to me, she knew he's going to talk for about an hour, but I'm not. And this will sort of clear up some of the questions the young lady presented. Uh, I really don't want to get too deep into affiliates because we're streaming this, and I want people to concentrate on the trading aspect of what we do. But if you've ever been in signals for more than a day or two, then you know it's pretty dynamic. And what I mean by that is the signals are almost always right. And they would if the signals weren't right the majority of the time, then people wouldn't be able to grow their money month over month over month. People wouldn't be able to take $500 and turn it into 50,000.
Mhm.
People wouldn't be able to triple their accounts. So I'm very fortunate because I have a team around me and they allow me to just be creative. And
Mhm.
I like to think creatively and dynamically. And for those of you who have shown interest in being an affiliate, uh, we're going to have a discussion about that. If not next week, the week after. But trading, I love to trade. I trade every single day, Monday through Friday. I don't trade Bitcoin or futures, just options, and I love it. But what we do, trading is a small part of what we do, right? And your job, if you're interested in the affiliate, is not to beg anyone to get free. That's just not what we
Mhm.
do.
Mhm.
And if you've been in signals, and hopefully you're at the point to where you're making money, and hopefully you've seen other people, so you know it works. Your job is to provide opportunity, just like I've provided opportunity, Miss Jarrett's provided opportunity, and Miss Crystal has provided opportunity. That's all I can do, and do
Mhm.
exactly what I say I'm going to do. And I've proven that with signals. But what we do as far as the business end is just as dynamic, if not more so, than trading, right? We're not going to ever have 50,000 people in our signals group. We're not looking for 50,000 people. If we're lucky, we'll have 1,000. If but to me personally, it doesn't matter if we have 50 people by the end of the year. It does not matter whether it's 1,000 or 50 because I'm not concerned about the money. I'm concerned about the process and the system, right? So you, as an affiliate, you have to take that sort of attitude on as well, and not to be coming from a negative place, but you're trying to help people. If they're foolish enough not to accept your help, yours is not to sit there and wonder why or feel any kind of pity towards them and what's going to happen to them. That's not your job. Your job is simply to offer opportunity based on the truth. So we don't have to lie and make up these exaggerations based on the truth, right? So if you go out there and get 10 people, which is a very small number, but not an easy thing to do, you will be set for life. Just on that. That's not including your trading. The reason why is because it's very dynamic, right? And we're not trying to sell a product to a million people. Most people, and don't take this out of context, most people are so distracted, they have no clue what they want. And they're distracted to the point where they won't even watch a 10-second video. They're only good for about 3 seconds. This has scientifically been proven. So you're kind of going out into this world of distracted people who all want to be rich, but they're so distracted that they're not willing to put in the effort, the energy. They're so skeptical. Then let them be. All you can do is offer opportunity. And I've told Jared, I've told anyone that would listen to me, this year is all about trading. All about trading. Now, let me touch on signals going in. Why would signals go someplace, right? Think about that. Think about it. We trade every day anyway. So why would signals go anyplace? We built this elaborate system, the infrastructure and the system of signals, and it's wonderful and it's magnificent. But at the end of the day, we trade every day anyway. So why would we not take money from people to trade with us? It doesn't make any sense. I am not the only person that knows the signal, nor is just my family the only people who know the system. The reason I don't teach people signals is because people will steal from you, kick you, try to throw you in prison. I've had people try to throw me in prison, and then take what you have and sell it as if they made it and completely cut you out the picture. I've had that happen every year since I've been on social media. So if I gave everything away, then what I do would have no value. And no matter how nice a person is, when it comes to money, they will steal from you and say, oh, he gave it to me. Oh, I taught him. So it has value. It is a business. This is the business side of signals. So if you want to be an affiliate or if you're considering that, just know that that side of what we do is just as dynamic, if not more, than signals, which is a mouthful. There are people on here like Miss Karen. I've known Miss Karen for years. There's a couple on there, so I'm not putting her business out there. She and I, like I said, have been making money together for what? I don't know how many years. It's been a lot of years now, right? That is, I'm not going to change the way I do things because of money. I want everyone to give free, but I'm not going to change anything that I do because of money or lack of money, because I'm not focused on the money part. I'm focused on the system, because the system will outlive me. I'm just a man. So I would offer you that advice. Signals isn't going anywhere. When we talk about DLTC, the trading, you want to learn how to trade, and I get that, I understand that, but you have to hear what people are saying. Jared said, I am DLTC, but I prefer signals. I can guarantee you she's not the only one on this discussion who feels that way. Signals, it's really about, if you're in signals, the first thing it's about is you getting free. That's it. That's number one. This is the fastest way for you to get free, right? Once I said it this morning in signals, it takes a year to learn the DLTC. It takes another year to get free off the DLTC. If you do what you're supposed to do in signals, you will be free in 9 months from right now. But if an if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. If is a very big word to only be two letters. Most people aren't going to do what they're instructed to do in order to get financially free. It has nothing to do with them as a person. They're going to make up an excuse why they can't do something, why it works for other. We've heard some of that tonight. Why it works for other people, but not for them. People are going to always find a reason why they can't do something. That's about 95% of people. But we're looking for that 5%. So you really have to believe. You have to say, I'm going to give it 100%, and I'm going to see. I don't have to prove myself anymore because I've been doing it now for 11 years. But I can see where someone would say, I'm just going to jump in with 2 feet, and I'm going to see if this man is talking smack or if he's serious. Most people will never get to that point.
Do you find that when you tell people that, one of the questions that I have gotten is, will you make money if I sign up? Do you find that is kind of a stickler for people, that they feel a way about that?
Because of my attitude that's why that's kind of like Bobby, because I'm confrontational. He's a little confrontational, so we kind of match. So because I'm kind of confrontational, I'm always ready for whatever someone throws at me. Right? If someone says, "Do I get paid because what you all in my pocket now? What do you ask your boss if he gets paid off of you?" Jobs make money off of their workers, right?
Right.
Most people don't know that. They pay you a certain amount, and then they make 2 or 3 times or maybe 10 times what they're paying you off of you. Right? It's called revenue per employee. So if someone gave me a question, I said, when's the last time you went to see your boss, your CEO, and said, hey, man, do you make money off of me? And how much do you make? When's the last time you've done that? So why are you all up in my business? I'm trying to offer you an opportunity. It's $17.50. If you don't think it's worth $17.50, then by all means, leave it alone. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. Right? And I was that way. I was that way from the beginning, because if you're not, what people have a tendency to do is try to run all over you, right? And a different kind. It's all game theory. They'll try to run all over you or trip you up or talk around you. We had a lot of talking in circles tonight. I know I'm not the only person that picked up on that. A lot of talking in circles. People will try to talk you in circles to confuse you. You have to cut right to the chase and say, listen, I'm going to be straight up with you. Do you want to do it? Yes or no? If you don't, that's fine. This is not going to change the way I feel about you. But if you don't, that's your call. I respect that. So you have to be professional, and you have to be straight to the point and say, listen, try it for one day. Just look at the chat. You see those people, the percentage they made today? All those people aren't lying, right? I'm not paying them to lie. So you have to put yourself in the driver's seat and do it in a pleasant way. I'm a little abrasive, but people are so used to being coddled or cuddled, whatever you want, however you pronounce it. You have to cut through all of that. And you don't, if they don't want to do business with you, they just don't want to do business with you. And you need to be like that as an affiliate, as Bernie Mac would say, immediately, because in December, we're going to pause any new people coming in. And that pause may be forever. We're not going anywhere, but we're going to hit the pause button because we don't need 1 million people because of the way we're structured. You understand that? If you trade, it won't matter to you. Miss Jared's being very modest today. I know how much is in her cushion. She has more money in her cushion, not to put her business out there, than 95% of Americans have access to, all through trading and working in the system. That's her lifestyle money. That's what she gets paid to just enjoy herself. Y'all have ever seen her? She's always somewhere. And I can guarantee you she's got a vacation already planned. She's always going to be somewhere. What's up, Miss Jerry?
I'm on the floor, not on the bed.
So you just have to take it day by day. You have to prioritize the trading aspect of what you do first. Because what we want you to do is be able to take care of yourself through trading whether it's signals or whatever it is, right? Signals is just
Right.
the fastest way to freedom if you do what you're supposed to do. How long have you been with this man?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, the person that I'm been with that I'm trying to teach about signals is wants to join, but they're just hesitant. And so I've let a few people come over to my house in the morning and just
Mm-hmm.
just see for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because I,
Yeah.
trying to convince them and
Yeah.
tell them and
Mm-hmm.
giving them a visual people. Some people
Mm-hmm.
are visual people. So I've
Mm-hmm.
come over, bring some coffee.
Yeah.
Let me show you so that,
Yeah.
and these are people, of course, that I care about.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah. I
My
get it.
father won, just trying to get him
Mm-hmm.
out of the casino like that.
Oh
You
my
could be at
God.
home, doing this
Right.
instead of
Right.
doing that. And,
Right.
but it's people that have been wounded, I think, that
Yeah.
have
Yeah. I get it.
had,
I get it.
some of these people have been in, I don't know if you all have heard of Novatech, but some people were
Mm-hmm.
completely apples and oranges, but people were wounded and just
Mm-hmm.
don't trust us as a people anymore.
Yeah.
So, but I, all of everything that everyone has said tonight is helpful for me
Mm-hmm.
in having that conversation with
Mm-hmm.
us,
Mm-hmm.
and people that I do want to help get free. I want to be free myself. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't want to be free by myself. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to have a reach back and bring people forward with me.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to have the right dialogue and the right
Mm-hmm.
information so that when I am, speaking to them, that I'm accurate and
Mm-hmm.
knowledgeable about what I'm talking about, and,
Mm-hmm.
not saying anything out of context.
Yeah,
So,
just be completely honest with people. Just tell them
yeah,
the truth. All you got to do is be honest and tell them the truth. And I tell
right.
people who are struggling with their emotions, just tell people you're struggling with your emotions. But then
Hmm.
say, well, there are people who are killing it. I'm still struggling with my emotions, but I'm going to get it. And they'll understand if you go in saying, oh, I'm just making $1 billion a day. Well, you're making stuff up. But if you just tell the truth, yeah, people are really killing it in signals. And that's why we do the polls. I don't know if you're with us today or the next or yesterday. I think it was today. We asked people how many of you have been made money month over month over month. 30% of the people said, yeah, I've made money ever since we started signals. January was rough, but they still made money in January. So because you're part of that, even if you struggle with your emotions, you can just be honest and just be honest and say, yeah, I'm kind of struggling with my emotions. However, there are people that are just a better place emotionally that are doing exceptionally well. And I'm going to get there. So you never have to lie about what we do. We trade.
Hmm.
So, and I'll say this. I also talked about why people are there. People think they're afraid of failure. They're afraid of success
Right.
because they know they're going to have to leave some people. I have a large family. None of my family is interested in anything that I'm doing. They are more interested in going to work for $12 an hour. I
Hmm.
haven't, nobody in my family works, right? And you would think that my other family members, I'm talking about my wife, my kids, my grandkids, you would think that my nieces, nephews, brother, and sister, they would say, man, my middle name is Andre, so they call me Dre. You would think they would say, man, Dre, when's the last time he had a job or a business? That never crosses their mind, ever, ever. I've
Right.
done everything I can possibly do to help them. I've given them the abacus.
Right.
I helped a young lady get free, and then she started listening to other people, and then she wanted to do the DLTC. She was such a dynamic person within the building of our group. I said, I'm going to give you the DLTC. You know what she told me? Oh, it's too boring. I said, well, I can't help you. And she went right back to getting a job. I had
Hmm.
helped free her, her dream, but it wasn't enough. So you have to understand on your journey, you're going to run into most people in your family are going to be like that. Most
Oh, I
people.
get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get
Yeah.
that now. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
echo what you're saying.
Yeah.
I experienced the same thing. I have
Mm-hmm.
been in corporate America for 31 years, and then
Mm-hmm.
I branched off and started my own business, and my family wants nothing to do with this, so they
Yeah.
certainly don't want to hear about signals.
Yeah.
So
Don't.
so you
Yeah.
have to say okay. You have, for
Yeah.
those people, you have to just say okay. But I will say that for the days that I did not listen to everything that you all have taught, whether it was risk management or don't overtrade, those are the only days that I have lost money. The days that I stuck to
Right.
following exactly what you have instructed us to do, I have not had any red. So
Right.
for me, I believe in the system. I believe in Signal, which is why I want to help other people
Mhm.
because I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Again, my questions tonight were just because I just needed to
Sure.
know, have the information, so I
Mhm.
can give the right information. So I
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you.
You're very welcome, and I'm sure she'll be part of the affiliate discussion that we have here shortly. I want to go ahead and go ahead and let it go. And Miss Krista, are you going to close it out, or
Yes, I'm just going to say thank you, everyone. I know
okay?
that some of you will have your hands up, and I am sorry. We usually don't end when people still have questions, but we would just like to ask you all to share those questions with the community on the community wall, or you all can shoot us a message at support@dltcglobalsignals.com. We have already received a few emails with some further questions. It's just that we have run much over time, and we hope that you all have enjoyed your weekly mastermind check-in. Thank you all for your time. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
T. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mrs.
of
Jarrah,
course. Of
for
You're
course.
your
I
welcome.
appreciate
time and your input.
it.
So we hope that this was helpful, and we'll meet again next week, Wednesday, and we will see you in the morning for
All right.
trading. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye-bye, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.